In the mix with DJ Rambo Rich.
Okay, so this is the What's That Music About podcast, and I'm your host, DJ Rambo Rich. And in today's episode, we're speaking to Cat Thompson, a recording artist, songwriter, and producer from all the way from Australia. So, with no further ado, I'm going to get her to introduce herself, tell her a bit about herself, and then we'll start the episode. So, first of all, thank you so much, Cat, for giving me your time to come on the podcast. Really a pleasure to have you. So if you'd just like to introduce yourself and we'll take it from there.
Thank you so much. My name is Cat Thompson. I'm a recording artist, songwriter and music producer. I'm based in Byron Bay, Australia. And it's an absolute joy to be on this show. So thank you so much for having me.
No, I appreciate it. Like I say, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm doing an event in Preston, and I think one of the people that is on my event, Katrina, I think you said to me when we first spoke that you saw her profile, and then that's how you found the podcast. I'm always interested to find out how people like from abroad like find the podcast, because it's interesting. Because I'm always looking on the analytics on the app of my podcast directory of like where it's listened to. And there's some really sort of like places I wouldn't expect, like Australia, America.
Oh.
So it's always interesting to find out, where people are listening from. So I always appreciate that. So yeah, I think we're good there. I think we're going to start the first round, which is mixtapes and memories. So 1 second, and we'll be back with that. Okay, so this is Mixtapes and Memories, and in Mixtapes and Memories, we go back to where it all started for you, and when you started getting interested in music and started like performing music. So to start that off, what's your first memory of music?
Oh my gosh, I've been singing since like before I can remember. So I think it was I really was that annoying child that I think there was an era where everyone's kid was singing like the the Let It Go song from like Elsa. Remember the the Disney song? And like there's always an era of different things that kids get into. I was one of those kids who just wouldn't stop singing, so it drove my parents nuts.
I'm a bit like that myself. I come from a musical theatre background, so it was musicals. So yeah, I totally get that. So yeah,
awesome.
So was there anything specific that you kept singing?
For me, like my favorite was Whitney Houston. So
yeah, I'm not surprised there actually.
So I loved her. And then like my mum really liked Elvis, so she'd play Elvis, and so there was that. And then the Carpenters, like my parents were just listening to like all different sort of things. So it was like whatever played. But I also grew up in Japan, so there was music, like obviously Japanese music, and so I would like sing that and things from Sesame Street.
It's great. No, it's great. I mean, I think that is a good thing about that program, is it does teach people like kids and that like to express themselves through music. So that's great. Definitely. I'm always getting my nephew and nieces to try and express themselves through music. So I love that. I love that. So what was the first album or CD or like physical music that you bought?
Oh gosh.
I like to say people back here really, really, really like go to the past,
I can't actually remember because like I'm half Filipino, and so like the first things that I would want were karaoke. And so like I would want something that we like, it was like CDs, and so you get the karaoke machine, you put as like a DVD in, sorry, not CD, like a DVD.
Yeah.
And so like I really wanted like, I remember instead of asking like for a regular CD, I really wanted like this. We had a karaoke machine, and I really wanted this DVD that had like all these different, like it was a mix, and it had like everything from like Tupac to like Madonna. Like it was just it was like a mixed random, and then it had like and then it had like R&B, but then it also had like rock songs. It was just like this random mixed disc that like you could put into the karaoke machine and you could sing along too, and it like had no genre. It was just like anything and everything was on there. So
Yeah, I mean,
remember
I
that.
love that answer. Like that's probably the most unique answer we've had so far. So I love that. What's the first experience of performing music like? Where you started to think, hang on a minute, you know what, maybe I could do this. What was the first time you performed music and you thought, you know, actually, maybe I could give this a go?
Well, I definitely like wanted to always sing. Like, I started writing when I was 9, which is like probably
Yeah,
a strange time to do that kind of thing. I don't know how many people are doing that at that age, but at 9, I was on the piano because I was learning piano, and I
yeah,
also
yeah.
really enjoyed poetry. Like, I just randomly enjoyed, as weird as that sounds, like like the
No, it's
ancient
not.
mariner stuff.
It's not. It's not weird at all because I was doing the same thing quite young. Like we're talking about 12,
Oh,
like writing
brilliant!
poems, and I've probably mentioned this before on my podcast, so I don't want to mention it too many times because it
Yep.
feels like I'm going on about myself too much.
No, no, no.
But
I love it.
there's a TV program where I don't know if you know or you're aware of it called Blue Peter, right? And it's you get like a Blue Peter badge, right? If
Yeah.
you send something in. Well, at the time, I had a girlfriend and I wrote a poem about her, and
Oh,
they sent me a Blue Peter badge, and it was a whole thing. But anyway, so yeah, no, I like the
well,
fact that you were writing poetry and stuff because I think like that's a good natural progression to writing song lyrics
it
and
is. Yeah,
music. Yeah,
100%. That's actually what happened. Like I started like, I enjoyed writing poetry, and then I also enjoyed like just making up my own, which drove my piano teacher nuts. I enjoyed like making up my own compositions on the piano, and I was like, I wonder
yeah,
what happens if I combine these two things. Like if I've
yeah.
made up this melody and I've written this poem, and if I put them together, my 9-year-old brain thought that's a great idea. So I did that. And then I then went to school and then roped my friends in and decided to make them all sing the song. So
Right. So
yeah,
you're producing now as well.
yeah,
I
like
love that.
yeah,
I love that.
yeah. It was like
So
it was
what?
really fun.
I love that. I love that. So what was the first gig or concert or show you saw, and how do you think it had an influence on you today? Because I always think back to like my musical experiences, and there's some like live performances I've seen and like things I've been to see in my younger days, and I was like, when you go to things and you're like, do you know what, this is what I want to do. Like the most recent one I can think of for myself, I saw Pete Tong at the O2 in London, and he had like a load of singers and all sorts. He had Beverly Knight and all these really well, and Becky Hill and all these people. And I went to that gig and I thought, it's DJing is what I want to do. So, what is an experience like that you think, you went and saw a live performance and you thought, do you know what, this is what I want to do?
That's awesome. I love that. For me, I actually, because and multiple heritages here, but I'm half Filipino. And as you
Yeah,
probably know through the karaoke, Filipinos love karaoke and they love
yeah.
performing. So my mum actually was a hairdresser, and
Yeah,
this is sounds like a long story, but basically
it's
she
I love tangents. Don't worry, it's all good.
there is
Carry
a
on.
tangent. But yeah, basically because she was a hairdresser, and she was working, and in that sort of world, obviously when they bring celebrities over to do live shows or concerts, they don't all. Sometimes celebrities will like bring their own hair and makeup.
Yeah,
Others will
yeah,
like need to hire someone locally, and they'll be
mm,
asked who's in the community or who in this city can take care of that side of things. So
yeah.
because my mum's Filipino, whenever a Filipino celebrity would come into to Australia, just went by the time we moved to Australia, they would be like, "Oh, you should get this lady. Which is my mum. You should get her to do it." Blah blah. So she get hired, and so I
That's
used
good.
to get roped in by my mum to help her with like she'd need an assistant to carry her bags, help with
Yeah,
you know coiling hair and stuff like that backstage.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'd get dragged to these concerts and be backstage with all these like Filipino celebrities that would come and do shows in Australia. And so I'd get to meet them. And then because of that, because of mum, I could actually like watch the show as well. So
I mean, that's a great experience. That's a great experience.
yeah.
Like, like you see everything there. That's great. That's
Yeah, so
really
I was
good.
like backstage, and in the corridors where everyone's running around and behind the curtain sort of thing. Like I got to see the back end and then got to actually like once mum had finished her jobs and she's like, okay, we've packed all the hair and makeup equipment and everything. You can now go to the auditorium section and you can actually watch the show if you like. And so I
Oh,
used to like sneak into
cool.
the actual the seating area and then just watch the show from the side.
I love that. Like your earliest memories are the most important, I think, because that really sort of dictates where you end up. So yeah,
Oh, 100% I agree.
I think what we'll do is we'll go to the next round, which is on repeat. So 1 second, then we'll be back with that. Okay, so this is on repeat, and in on repeat, we talk about what you're currently doing. So to start that off, what's currently your biggest daily challenge? So in a day, what would you say are the biggest obstacles from achieving success?
Oh my gosh. I think as an independent artist, it's the biggest thing I'd say is like you have to wear so many hats. Like you're basically like the creative team, the marketing team, the I don't know, whatever other department team, the social media department team. You're everything, and you're like, and one of the things that I found to survive this as an independent artist is that like you have to put a thinking cap on when it comes to the business side, but then you have to take that off, and then you have to be creative, and then you go into the studio and write songs, and then you also have to just be human, and I think
that could be a hard part sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, when you got all these other distractions, it's all right, but the human part sometimes could be a bit of a struggle. Like, oh my god, who am I now?
100%. And like I think for me, the easiest way that I've not easiest, but the way that I've managed to like get around, the left brain, right brain sort of thing is where like if I'm doing something creative today, then I don't do anything like businessy or like I allow myself to have a creative day, and then like the next day if it's like okay I'm focusing on more like how to doing all the emails and the business side and the less
I think
fun stuff, like I let myself then have a business day, and I don't then expect myself that night to walk into the studio and be able to create because I've drained myself already trying to be so whichever side of the brain that's meant to be. So.
I think I totally get you. I think that's a good way to look at it, because I feel like what you're doing there is your big word alert, compartmentalizing.
Yes.
Each thing, like you're not okay. I'm doing my whatever it is today, performance stuff hit today. Oh no, I'm at home. It's night time. Oh, I'm doing emails, and then the next day, oh, I'll do some emails in the morning, and then before you know, like you can't there's no like if you talk about flow state, the rhythm of stuff is just out of whack, really. If you're doing like this and that, so what you're doing there is merely sort of like, okay, I've got that performance at the end of the week. We'll work on that now. That's sorted. That's locked in.
Yep.
Or I need to see my invoices today. I need to do this social media. Yeah, it makes sense to me, like I say. Yep. And I think actually that might help a lot of people that are listening that do music. That actually is a good way to look at it. So maybe some people might get something. If you do, guys, like send it in and we'll let her know.
Yay, so I hope it helps somebody because it helped me.
Definitely. So what are you currently working on then?
Right now, we are in the midst of launching my next single. So that's like every day, and it's been insane, but like I'm so excited to get this new song out and for everyone to hear it and for everyone to start dancing to it and enjoying it. So yeah, in fact, I'm actually sick because I've just been not enough sleep, two late nights and too many early mornings. So I'm actually fighting bronchitis at the moment, which is why I sound like this. So.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
So like, how do you sort of cope with that or like manage that then?
honestly, like, I struggle with it just like you do. I think it's just part of being in the entertainment industry. Like, when everyone else is, this is like the thing. It comes to that down the slight tangent as well. But like with Christmas, like all my friends and family are like, yeah, we're in holiday mode, and I'm like, that's when we're working. Like as a DJ, you're doing all the, you're up there working while everyone else is enjoying their champagne. So it is what it is. I think with our industry, I think the big thing is for me is with that is trying to find some balance where like if I have a big show, which would be the same for you as a DJ, then I try my best to schedule in next morning to have a little bit more time to sleep to catch up on
Yeah.
what I've lost.
Yeah.
And like if like for example, even leading up to today, because obviously we had this on today, I wanted to be fresh and obviously I'm obviously fighting off bronchitis at the
Well, I
moment.
appreciate that. I
Yeah,
really do.
no,
I want to make
no,
sure I say
thank
that. I
you.
appreciate
Thanks for
that.
having me.
No,
But
you're welcome.
yeah, like I made sure that like an hour before I wasn't like going through emails or doing any like businessy stuff.
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
allowed myself a bit more time, so that I could have energy and enjoy this experience. Because like, why do we do music? Because we want to do it because we love it.
yeah.
So,
Mm.
trying to reduce that stress level here and there by like for me, everyone's different, but for me, I find like scheduling helps. Like putting in time to try and make sure I get the rest I need so I can perform as best as I can.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good point there. I'm trying to remember what point I was going to say back to you. Oh my god. Yeah, like I say, I know that's it. I've remembered now. Oh my gosh. So basically, you were saying there, like, like having that time before doing things, and I think that's a really good point you make there because, sometimes, like, I've tried and get as early to gigs now as possible
Yeah, me too.
because I like to have that time now before I can sort of look around the venue. I can see who's there. I can look at the age group and think, okay, what music are these people going to know? Like, okay, so this person looks about 70. So when were they born? All right, so this what era music? So what era were they a teenager? And I sort of like work it out that way. So I thought, oh, okay, so they were like a teenager in the 70s, so they know disco music, for example. Oh, and then there's someone younger, like current generation. So they're gonna want like this sort of stuff. So interesting, like how like if you make the little changes like that, you can. I feel like you can do better because you've given that space, a window to actually like, oh, I'm gonna just take a breather here, like I say. So I love that. What do you find yourself repeatedly doing at the moment then?
Oh my god, in this era as an independent artist, it's like
Yeah,
content creation. It's
yeah,
insane. Like everyone who's an artist I know who's like, my fellow DJs, producers and also like I've got a friend who does like beautiful like sax. They're like a sax duo and they do like
yeah. I've got
DJing
a
with
few
sax.
friends that is a yeah. I
Yeah.
totally know what you mean. Yeah, yeah,
And like they're all complaining about the same thing. They're like, we have to make so much content, like just to cut through. And I know friends who are like artists as well, or in bands, and they're like, I don't want to make content. I don't want to do it. I just
no,
want to go and make
I
music. And I'm just like, yeah, but people aren't going to find like people want your music, and they're not going to find it if you don't make content. So I think that's the thing like I've had to wrap my head around as well as accepting the fact that, we are in a digital age. We are in an age where social media is king. And so I'm, making more content than I've ever thought of making in my entire life.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
so
I've sort of fallen into that with the podcast. Like I started it, and then suddenly here I am, like we're all making all this content out of nowhere now.
yeah,
Like I did sort of. It's sort of like you wake up one day and realize, oh my god, when did I start doing all this?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like when did I start doing all this? I
Yeah.
totally mean, but I mean, this is why I started the podcast. The main reason I started the podcast was as a DJ, I feel like it's my job to help the audience find new music and new music artists find audience. But then also, it was another thing, like you were saying there, to help, music people have some content. Because what I like about what I've created is it shows you who they are as a person.
Yeah.
And you get a measure of the person, and that is the thing I think music people struggle with, is showing who they really are. You can try and look cool and everything, and that's great, but like, people want to see who you really are. And this is why I started this, because I've had some great conversations, and I feel like I've made some really great friends through this, but it's because of seeing who they really are. Now, if it was just their content, yeah, I would listen to their music and everything, but
Yeah.
like, you don't get the true essence of a person until you've had a conversation with them, and I think that is the key thing. But like I say, it's a good point you were making there, though, with the content thing, because that is every episode it always comes up this about the content, and I feel like the only way to actually sort of solve that problem is through collaboration.
Yes.
Like this
100%.
is a collaboration with me, with you with me. Like, this is the only way that you can get content easier when you work with someone else.
I don't know how many people say this to you, but like, as an indie artist, like, I appreciate you so much, and like, I'm sure that like every artist who does come on really truly does, because like, I can't speak for every artist. I'm sure there are artists who are very gregarious, but like, I'm naturally I'm introverted. I'm quite a shy person,
Right.
so
I wouldn't actually, from your content, I wouldn't actually think that. No offense.
yeah, no.
Like I say, I thought you were quite extroverted. Like, like I say. So it's interesting you say that.
Well,
So,
like, your show, for example, gives us a platform, and it gives us a way to express ourselves in when it's not just the music. Like, like you said, like,
yeah.
you get to know the person. So, like, thank you for giving us a space as creatives. It's so nice to have not just like a space, but a safe space. Like, you're such a beautiful person. So thank you for making us feel safe.
Well, I appreciate that. Like I say, I think a lot of it comes down to my dyslexia. I always like to sort of like check on people on, like, because I have to, because of my dyslexia. I like, sometimes I'm like, oh, is that person okay? And then I'll message them, and people think I'm being like really sweet, but I have to, not selfishly, but I have to sort of make sure for myself that they are okay. So then I have to think about that, and then I can, like, oh, they're good, I've checked on them, we'll move on. But like I say, I appreciate you saying all that, like I say, but I really, like, it comes down, like, because there's a lot of work I put into this, and if I didn't love it, I wouldn't do it, because it is so much work, like.
Yep.
But no, I just love the fact that I'm helping, like, people from different countries connect, and that is what I'm all about. Is really, building connections with people, and on my social media, I always say spread love, but I genuinely do mean it. I feel like if the world spread a bit more love, the world would be a nice place. Because, not to get political, but it's not the nicest place in the world at the moment, and I feel like, let's just all be nice and get along, and let's not fight each other. Let's sit at a table and talk about, like, adults and not animals. But anyway, not to depress us there.
100% agree.
But yeah, like I say, like I say, in terms of the podcast in the future, I know sort of where I want it to be, but there's a few steps along I have to make. But like I say, eventually, like, I want to just do a lot more. But until I get to that stage, I don't know what's going to happen. But no, I appreciate you saying all that, like I say. I think what we're going to do now is go to the next round, which is discography, where we talk about your music. So 1 second, and we'll be back with that. Okay, so this is discography, where we talk about your music. So to start that off today, let's talk about your latest release that's coming out. So what's the latest track that's coming out?
So the latest track is called Dance Fire, and true to the name, it's about passion for dance. So I wanted something that encapsulated, like, you know how like in the 90s and the 2000s people would go out and they would like dance and like they even had dance moves. Like I'm not sure if you had that culture over in the UK where like people would like all know the same dance moves, and so they
I
would
think that's always the sort of like the late teens, sort
yeah
of like early 20s. I
yeah
think, particularly females, that's what I noticed. Like, they always got like sort of like learning dance moves. You always see sort of like 17 to like 22-ish people like learning dance moves and get that sort of age. But I don't know. Like I say, yeah, I totally get what you mean. Yeah. So
yeah.
you were
So I
saying
wanted
there.
to recapture that sort of vibe, because like I personally I came up and when like I was learning like hip hop dance, and so I love dancing. Um, and a lot of my friends are dancers, and so we were all like, oh, it'd be really cool to have because a lot of the like the tracks now are a little bit on the slower side. So like especially in R&B, it's very slow, which is I love. I love slow jams. I love like chill vibes.
Mm.
But at the same time, like I still have that thing where I'm like, oh, I want to get out and dance. So I thought, well, let's create something for that. And so I went into the studio. I worked with a producer called Jake Brera, who's an amazing Australian pop R&B producer. So I worked with him, and we got into Studio 301, which is really amazing studio. It's actually where they did like the soundtrack music for Happy Feet. So you know the penguin that
All right.
dances. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it was really so really random. But like I was really lucky to get into that
No, I
studio.
love it.
Yeah, and so I actually didn't know that until my producer Jay was like, "Yeah, did you know that this is where they did Happy Feet?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, I love Happy Feet." So anyway, I was in the studio where they obviously didn't have a penguin, but where they recorded the stuff for the penguin movie. And yeah, so I was in there, and so I basically just like wrote everything on the spot and recorded everything over the course of like a day and a half. Like came in the second day and just like finished off some of the like ad libs that I have right at the end of the track.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like my inspiration were things like, different types of dance moves, and if you're on the dance floor, like we've all experienced this where we've gone out and you get on the dance floor and you see someone and you're like, hey, they're cute, and so you kind of want to like make that connection. So that's kind of what the vibe is. It's young, it's fun, it's it's not like, how you talked about the world's just so serious and there's a lot of dark things
Yeah.
happening. It's one of those tracks that just like, we've got so much darkness right now. It would be nice to have a little bit more fun back. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's kind of the
Like
vibe.
I know what you mean there. Like it is a case of like I feel like people have forgotten how to have fun.
Yeah.
So something like that is definitely needed.
Yeah.
What was I going to say there? So out of your tracks that you've got that you've made,
Yeah.
what is your favorite track to perform?
Oh gosh. I like them all for different reasons.
Yeah.
I do like them all for different reasons. Um, Let me think. I do like one of the tracks that I performed, one of my tracks that I performed was Be Mine, and I really enjoyed that one because I got to work some really cool dances, and
Yeah.
there's actually a performance video of that's up, so if anyone wants to see it, they can.
Yeah, I did cast an eye over your YouTube channel, and the dance was something I'm gonna mention actually. So dance is quite a part of your dancing is quite a part of your the sort of artist you are. It's so how important is the dance to you? That's a question I want to ask.
I think it equally sits for me with obviously all the other aspects. Like for me, it's just another creative outlet. So, you know how like as a creative or as an artist is like some of us will pick up instruments, some of us will pick up maybe some of us will pick up a paintbrush. Like we're all as a creative, you're kind of unlimited with. As long as you don't limit yourself, you can apply your creativity to different aspects. And I mean, I obviously I play piano, I play guitar, and play different instruments and stuff, but I get so much joy from playing an instrument. I get so much joy from singing, and then the same thing with dance. I get so much joy from that as well. So like I was kind of like,
Yeah.
how do I combine all these things that I love? And so like sometimes I'll do slow jams, but then at the same time there are other times when I feel like dancing. So I try to cater to, all different vibes.
Definitely, definitely. So, what is more important to you when you're writing a song?
I think it depends on the intent. So I still think story or theme is important. Like I have a little like pet peeve when you have like an amazing chorus, and let's say you've got someone singing and the chorus is about love, or let's just make it simple, it's about love, and then
Yeah,
you have a rapper come on, which I love. I love hip hop. But then the rapper comes on and just talks about how, I don't know, how many gold chains he has. And it's like it's not connecting with the chorus where the singer is
yeah,
talking about
yeah,
love, and then like the verses have nothing to do with the chorus. So
yeah,
for
yeah,
me, that's like a little like it. So to me, sound is obviously, because it's music, it has to sound good. But then at the same
yeah,
time, the story has to, or the vibe, or the energy of what's going on has to. There has to be synergy there, in my opinion. Um,
yeah,
like yeah, I because like as humans, we listen to different things. That was another thing that I found fascinating speaking to different people. Like you could listen to one song, and you're all hearing it in different ways. Like some people are listening to the
yeah,
beat, some people are listening to the lyrics. I'm a big lyric girl, so like
yeah.
I have a friend who they're like, "Oh, I love this beat," and I'm like, "Yeah, but what's the song about?" And they're like, I don't know, but it's a good beat." And then I've got like for me, I'm like I'm already like listening to lyrics and the meanings of it, and like what is the artist trying to say. But at the same time, if
Mm.
the sound wasn't good, then I probably wouldn't listen to it. So you have to have both, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're making me think about a conversation I had in a previous episode where we talk about like there's songs out there that sound like feel good songs, but they're actually about some really like dark things. Like
Yeah,
the famous example I've always given is song I always play if I'm doing a disco night is "Young Hearts Break Free," but it's actually about her like in a abusive relationship with a partner.
oh wow,
And
I didn't know
and
that.
nobody knows this. Nobody knows this, and it's really funny when you see people dancing like
Yeah.
every Saturday night to that song. Yet, like this guy was going to shoot this lady, like, and that's what the song is about. I watched a documentary about it. It's really interesting,
Oh
and literally,
wow.
like, he was controlling everything, and like she really just like only just managed to get away from him. Candy Staten, I think it is, and like, but yet the song, like she's taken. This is the great thing about music. This is why I
Yeah.
mention it. Like she was in a dark, dark place,
Mhm.
but yet she took that darkness and like forever turned that into the light. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yep, yep.
so, that's what music's great about. You know what I mean? Like forever now, Saturday night somewhere,
Yeah,
someone will be dancing to that song, and like I mean, that is the great thing about music. Like I say,
I
it's
agree.
like. But it's interesting. So, what would you say is unique about you as a performer?
Oh, it's unique.
I'm sorry. Sometimes I don't
I
ask
think
easy questions.
no, that's okay. I think I think that's honestly something that someone else would be better answering, because when I'm on stage performing, I'm experiencing the audience, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm singing, but like one of the shows that I did recently, it was so fun because like I was just bouncing around the stage and having so much fun and like singing, and like people were like reaching out and I like grabbed their hand, and like we were having such a connection. And so for me, I don't experience myself, if that makes sense.
Right.
I, ex-
Yeah, I get what you
I
mean. Yeah.
experience everyone else, if that makes sense. Like I'm having a human connection with them. Um, but whoever's in the audience.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the only way that I can experience myself is through video. Um, like after the fact, which is a completely different feeling, in my opinion.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but Oh gosh, that is a difficult question. I think for me, like, I just try to have a lot of fun, and I
Yeah,
hope that whoever's in the audience can just forget all their worries in that moment. Because when you're there in the audience and you're there on the stage, it doesn't matter what's happening outside. Like, you step
yeah,
into the
definitely.
venue.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether you're going through a breakup. It doesn't matter if your boss is an asshole. Sorry, I'm allowed to say that on your show.
I've heard there's been worse said. Do not
Okay,
worry.
cool. So it doesn't matter, you're having a stressful day. We come to watch live music to live in the moment. So,
Yeah, it's
you know that with being a DJ, like, people on the dance floor, they're not thinking about their taxes. Like, they're not. That's
not really. No, no.
no. So I hope that when I perform live, that whoever is in the audience is just living in that moment, and I can hopefully bring that out of them, hopefully.
Mm.
And so they go home and they're like, I had such a great time tonight. That's what I hope I bring. And I know different artists will bring different things, but that's what I hope I bring to whoever comes to watch a show. So yeah.
I think what we're going to do now is move to the last round, which is Dream Big. So 1 second, and we'll be back with that. Okay, so this is Dream Big, and in Dream Big, we'll talk about your future aspirations. So to start that off, what is your biggest aspiration for your music? When they look back in through history and they find your music, what do you want people to get from your music?
I personally believe that there's a song for every moment. Like there's a song for just having fun. There's a song for when you fall in love. There's we all have that one track and then you have the couples who are like, this is our song. So I hope that like my music can, obviously in the grand scheme of things, touch enough people, and so it can be woven into part of their memories. Like I still have songs that when I was a teen that I'm like, oh, I love this song, and it wasn't necessarily the most deep track in the entire world. Like it's just woven into my personal life memory bank, and so I have good memories of myself having fun with my friends, road trips. Like I think a good one's like the Pina Colada song. Like I think every
Yeah,
single one
yeah,
of us have a moment where we were on a road trip or on a holiday with friends, or at some point listening to it on a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon with the sun setting, and we're just like, like I have good vibes to this track. And so there's that's a fun track that's woven into a happy memory. So I hope that
yeah,
at least one of my songs can do that for somebody. And then I
yeah,
also hope that some of my deeper tracks that are, the ones that touch you right here, I do hope
yeah.
that, like, a track like that will make a difference for somebody, in whatever way that they use it for healing, or because it's, the song that they walk down the aisle to. Like, I'm sure,
Yeah.
yeah. So I hope that my music can do that for people, and yeah, become part of the fabric of their memories.
I love that. I love that. So this is a hard question because it changes for me every week, and it depends what you're listening to at the moment. But
Yeah.
so what is your dream artist to collaborate with?
Oh my gosh, I think you're right where it changes every single week. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
um,
I've just done a disco event on DJ and just done a disco event. Like I did a lot of disco, so it's changed already. Like this week, but then like next
mhm.
week, we don't know. But so yeah, so
Who am
I
I
feel like there's
vibing
always like I feel like there's always like for me, there's always like the top person, but then like
Yeah,
two or three changes like depending on the weeks. Like it's always Pete Tong for me straight
yeah, yeah,
away.
yeah.
Like that's the guy. But like I say, I don't know. So who we thinking then?
Oh my gosh. It's gonna sound funny because it's he's a much older artist, but the other day I heard Tiny Dancer, so I'd love to work with Elton John.
I mean, that's a great answer. That is, I mean,
Yeah,
a legend. A guy that has. If you think about his voice and the era he came out in, he had quite a unique voice for the time.
And so
And people don't
talented.
recognize this. And like, there wasn't, when he came out, first released music, like, he was totally different to what was about.
Yes.
Like, like a fish out of water, to say. Like,
Yeah.
he was totally. So I love that answer. So, like, what sort of music would it be a new track, or would it be like an old track that you want to make a new version of? Because he's done that a lot, like, recently, like, like, sort of bringing the vibes of old tracks of his into like a new version. So what sort of things would you want to make?
Honestly, like, I would just be honored if he was in the same room as me. But
I mean, yeah, that goes without saying, really, doesn't it?
But like, it'd be so cool to do a duet with him, just to like, even just if
Yeah.
he wanted to do a cover of one of his tracks, like, that would be so cool. Because his songs are so iconic. Like, I mean, obviously you could always do a new track, but like, I love his old stuff. So
Yeah, definitely.
I'd be happy with either.
I mean,
But if he wanted to do a cover, and like, well, it wouldn't be a cover for him, would it? It'd be an original for him. It would be a cover for me.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
That's an interesting point you make there. Definitely. I love that. So another hard question: dream festival, concert, or location to perform at? And there's an added extra bit, and why that one?
Ooh. Oh, so many. I reckon it'd be fun to do Coachella. Oh, well, no. I reckon it'd be so fun to do the Super Bowl. Because have you seen the
Yeah.
Super Bowl where, like, like, there was like
Yes.
Rihanna's one where they were on the like floating tables? Sorry, floating decks.
Yeah.
Are there decks? Like floating
I know what you mean.
island.
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
and there's always like something different and something cool. And like, I remember watching recently 50 Cent, Eminem. Did you
Yeah, that
see
was a
that
good one.
one?
That, yeah.
That
I
was
mean, I don't know. Like,
amazing.
can you imagine getting booked for that? Like, what would you be your plan for that performance then? Like, what would you want to like give the audience with that performance?
Oh, well, I don't think you can beat 50 Cent doing the what do you call it? The upside down sit-ups, like he was hanging. Do you
Yeah.
remember that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if I can be that iconic. But yeah, I definitely want to have a really fun set with like a lot of dancers. Like have you did
I
you
did
watch the
expect
one?
dancers. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the one with J-Lo and Shakira?
I think so.
Or
All I can remember,
Use that.
all I can remember is Shakira dancing. That sort of, for some reason, the
Yeah,
song
yeah, yeah,
"Hips Don't
yeah.
Lie." I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not weird or
definitely.
anything, but
So I reckon that kind of show would be
I'm not.
fun.
I'm not being a bloke here, just to say, like I say, but like that's all I can remember for some reason. Like, I don't know why. Anyway, moving on.
No, I know what you mean. But yeah, like I think it'd be so fun to have like just a set where like you get something that's changing constantly, so the audience have something
Yeah.
exciting. They're like, "Wow, that's exciting! Oh, that's cool!" Like
Yeah.
something that just constantly shifting, and like a kaleidoscope performance would be really fun to have. So
I love that.
yeah.
I love that. I'm gonna just sign off now. So really appreciate having you on, Kat. It's been great speaking with you. And just before we wrap up here, I want you to just let people know what's this new single and when's it out and what platforms all your content can be found on, and what name are we searching.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate
No,
it.
you're welcome. You're
And
welcome. Like I say, yeah.
my name is Cat Thompson, and so you can find my music across all the regular streaming platforms, including Bandcamp and all those good ones that you can support indie artists on. And if you want to check out my stuff, you can go to my website, catthompson.com, or my YouTube, all of those sort of things. Like just look up Cat Thompson. And my new single's called Dance Fire. It's coming out on the 26th of this. Oh, I can't even say 26th of September. So, so 26th of September. The new single's called Dance Fire, and I hope you guys really enjoy it.
Well, thanks very much. One thing I will say before we sign off is when I was doing I always research my guests before they come on because I like to know what they're about. And I did search your name in Google and just to see how quickly like your content would come up. And yours is quite easy to find. So that is a really positive because I thought, well, I won't even put like singer. I'll just put Cat Thompson and see what comes up because I'm on the other side of the world. I'm like, I wonder how easy it is for someone in England to like find your content, and it came straight up. I don't know if it's because I've got you on social media. I don't know if that's the reason, but it was quite easy to find. So that's some positive feedback there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Good to know.
So I really appreciate you having you on. Keep us up to date with anything that you're doing. Send over us any things that you're releasing, and I'll put a post on the Instagram. And I just want to thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening over there. Keep us up to date, and I'll let you know when it's released. So you have a nice day, and I'll speak to you later.
Thanks so much.
In the mix with DJ Rambo Rich.